Welcome back to My Views and News. This news bulletin has news stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea. First news story is about a statement from a member of parliament. We have been saying in videos that hundreds of people have been arrested from the Amhara ethnic group. This campaign of large-scale arrests started last year. A member of parliament from Addis Ababa has shared a number. From Addis Ababa, not from the Amhara region. How many have been arrested in Addis Ababa? Not criminals, not wanted for crimes, not robbers or thieves, but those who were declared terrorists, extremists, supporters of armed groups. How many have been arrested? The number shared by this member of parliament is staggering. If this number is correct, it means thousands are in prisons and no one knows where they are, which criminal proceedings have been launched against them. Secondly, viewers, two areas in the Amhara region where there have been clashes between Fano fighters and security forces in the last 24 hours or so. Casualties on both sides, injured on both sides rather. Thirdly, a short clip for you from Teddy Afro's concert in Dallas. This weekend, he performed in Dallas. Eritrean and Ethiopian flags were displayed on stage. Which Ethiopian flag does Teddy Afro use at his concerts? Lastly, viewers, I want to speak a bit about the Eritrean festival in Giessen, Germany, which came to a close today. Are there any lessons learned for Eritrean opposition groups and Eritrean government, pro-government diaspora groups based in Europe and the US? Firstly, viewers, Dr. Kasa Tishagar is a member of Addis Ababa Council. Addis Ababa Council is holding its regular meeting. Budget is being discussed. It is being approved. Dr. Kasa Tishagar has shared details of how many people have been arrested in Addis Ababa. Again, not criminals, not thieves, robbers, etc. Number is 10,000. 10,000 arrested. Why? Because they were accused of being extremists, terrorists. And these days, these terms, extremists and terrorists, are used for Fano fighters in Ethiopia. Ethiopian government officials, federal, regional, they used to use this term for Tigray fighters last year. But this year, for Tigray fighters and Ola fighters. Now, the term extremists, the word extremists and the word terrorist is used for Fano fighters and Al-Shabaab fighters too. The member of parliament says that those who have been arrested, 10,000, around 10,000, most of them are Amharas. This number is about Addis Ababa. I'm not talking about the people arrested in Amhara region. How many have arrested in the Amhara region? No one knows. Because Amhara regional government never shared details of arrested people. Now imagine if 10,000 have been arrested in Addis Ababa alone. How many have been arrested in Amhara? Tens of thousands. Fano fighters, their supporters, their organization, office bearers, commanders, etc., journalists, activists, political workers. And these arrested people are being kept in different prisons, mostly not in the Amhara region, in Amhara as well, and outside Amhara too. Large scale arrests. Now, when an MP says something on the floor of the parliament, you cannot say it's false information. An MP is a responsible man, and I have not seen any denial, any rejection from the government so far. If 10,000 have not been arrested in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa government, Addis Ababa police, they should clarify. If they don't, it means number is correct. And obviously, Dr. Kasa Tishagar would have verified facts before sharing this big number at a parliament meeting, at city council meeting. So that is why large scale arrests we have been reporting are ongoing, and this is ongoing. It's not that arrests have stopped. No, still on daily basis we receive reports of people being arrested. We only receive reports of those who are well-known people, well-known journalists, well-known Fano commanders. There are thousands of others who are not well-known, who are not known nationally, regionally. They're just local level people. So their arrest does not make news. That is why we say that what Tigrayan suffered in the 2-year-long war is what Amharas are going through now. Tigrayans were arrested just because they were Tigrayans, or they were, it was feared they could be supporters of TPLF, that they could support Tigray fighters. If anyone had any connection with TPLF, arrested. Even those who were involved in charity work, arrested. Same is happening now with the Amhara groups, that those who are seen as Fano supporters, likely supporters of Fano, they're being arrested. And no one knows. At least government should tell Ethiopian people how many are in Ethiopian prisons. How many people? What are charges against them? How many in Oromia? How many are allegedly supporters of Ola, Kios? How many are supporters of Fano? How many Tigrayans? Where will we get information about tens of thousands who are in prisons? Basically, there is no rule of law. Anyone can be arrested and forgotten. It's like Eritrea in a lesser degree, though Eritrea is worse, that people were put in prisons decades ago, more than 2 decades ago, and still they're in prisons. But if Ethiopia continues along the same path, then we will be forced to say that Ethiopian government is following in the footsteps of Eritrean government. Secondly, viewers, the second news story is about clashes between Fano fighters and security forces in the last 24 hours. 2 towns where heavy fighting erupted. Firstly, Kobo, viewers. In the vicinity of Kobo, not inside Kobo, in the vicinity of Kobo, there was a clash between Fano fighters and Ethiopian National Defense Force yesterday. Last night there was heavy exchange of gunfire. No news of any casualties, any losses, gains, but only confirmation is that there was a major confrontation between Fano fighters and Ethiopian National Defense Force near Kobo. In the area near Kobo, East Amhara Fano has been operating, led by Yimere Bodajo. I think Bodajo is from Kobo. His family is based in Kobo. And police security forces have been trying to arrest him. They arrested his family members too in Kobo. Most probably, East Amhara Fano fighters were involved in last night's clash with security forces. Secondly, for the last 24 hours, clashes ongoing in Baso, Lebanon. Baso, Lebanon is in East Gojam zone of the Amhara region. In Baso, Lebanon, in Jubbe and Cork, reportedly, police militias they have launched an operation against Fano fighters. Both sides suffered losses, some injured on both sides, one Fano fighter injured, some said 2 injured in Baso, Lebanon. Clashes ongoing, exchange of gunfire ongoing in Baso, Lebanon. Thirdly, viewers, Teddy Afro, one of the most well-known Ethiopian singers, is performing in Dallas, is in the US these days. He performed in Dallas on a weekend. Teddy Afro calls for unity in Ethiopia. He sang several songs for unity, though he's seen as a supporter of Amhara ethnic group. And one of his songs' lyrics were seen as very critical of the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, of his mega projects. He sang about Addis Ababa too, that some who were not from here, they were claiming Addis Ababa. So people say that he is supporter of Amhara ethnic group. And when he displays Ethiopian flag at his concerts, he does not display the flag with the star sign, which is the flag, which is original flag of Ethiopia, used now. Though more than 30 years ago, there was no star on this flag. I think EPRDF added the star to the flag. Teddy Afro uses Ethiopian flag without star, which is used by Fano too. That is why people say that he's an Amhara, he supports Amhara hardliners. And when he performed in Dallas, 2 flags were shown side by side. Ethiopian flag without star sign, with a writing in the middle, which says love wins, I think, something like that, love wins. And then Eritrean flag. Both flags were shown in parallel during his concert in the background. Why doesn't he show Ethiopian flag with star sign, which is now Ethiopian official flag? Obviously, it means that on some points he supports the position of Amhara hardliners. A clip from Teddy Afro's Dallas concert. Lastly, viewers, are there any lessons learned from what happened in Germany, in Giessen, where a 2-day Eritrean festival ended today? It started on Saturday. On Saturday, we saw heavy clashes between Eritrean opposition groups and the police. More than 200 Eritrean opposition members, they tried to disrupt the festival. Around 2,000 attended the festival. Some Eritrean government officials, hundreds of police officials were deployed to protect the venue. Opposition groups threw stones at police officials. Police officials used pepper spray, they used force, they used batons too. Some protesters were injured as well. But police managed to ensure the safety of festival participants. Festival ended today peacefully. Yesterday was a violent day. There were clashes. Today it was relative calm. Why? Because police arrested more than 100 people yesterday. Several were issued evictions too. Some police officers injured too. More than 20 police officers injured. How many protesters injured? Police is not sharing any details. But if 20 police officers have been injured, obviously there would be protesters too who have been injured. And we are seeing calls in Germany, both types of calls. Some are criticizing Eritrean government, that Eritrean governments, that the mess in Eritrea is now coming to Germany. And the others say that the people who are protesting, they fled Eritrea. They fled because of persecution, because of grave human rights situation, and now here they are saying that Eritrean government is openly spreading propaganda. So they have right to protest. Now, there are some lessons to be learned from what happened in Giessen yesterday. Opposition groups will have to revisit their strategy of forcible stopping of festivals. It is not going to work in Europe. Brigade Nihamedo is becoming notorious. Its members, officials could face deportations, could face legal proceedings. Violence has no place. They'll have to change their strategies. I think last year they resorted to legal strategy, to mobilization of people, involvement of local lawmakers. To this year, they are focusing more on use of force. Opposition groups. This strategy is backfiring. Eritrean government-backed organizations, pro-government activists, they are very happy. They say that opposition groups are not Eritreans, they are basically Tigrayans, or they are on the payroll of TPLF, and they'll suffer now. They suffered a lot. They tried to disrupt the festival, they could not. They're saluting Giessen police. Last year, Eritrean government, pro-government Eritrean groups, they were criticizing Germany. The Germany claimed to be a champion of free speech, that it respected right to assembly, but Eritreans were not allowed to organize a festival. Rather, miscreants stormed the venue, and Giessen police cancelled the festival. Last year, they were criticizing Giessen police, and this year they are all praised for Giessen police, for German government. Opposition will have to learn lessons from what happened in Giessen. Otherwise, they could face tougher reactions, tougher law enforcement measures, because I think they are becoming notorious in Europe, that they are using force, they are using violence against peaceful pro-Eritrean government groups. You can criticize what happens at festivals, but whatever is happening is peaceful. No violent activities happen at these festivals. So that is why I think opposition groups will have to do something different to stop these festivals. Thank you for watching.